So I've noticed some weird rhetoric coming out of the Canadian news media where some outlets have decided to present the lack of a trade deal with the US as if that's somehow a sign that the Canadian government has failed. And I want to be clear on something before I continue. I am not in the bag for any politician or any political party. As a rule, people who want to be in charge of things, big or small, are often the least healthy people to put in charge of stuff. So this is not me saying vote for my political party. I am not aligned with a political party. As far as I'm concerned, they are all too conservative and short-sighted for me. Yes, even the ones that bill themselves as being quite far to the left. However, I am also not big on shitting on people in office because they haven't done the impossible. The media has been filled with stories about the US putting huge tariffs on this country and that country and islands with penguins and whatnot. And there's generally a lot less coverage on the fact that so many of those get rolled back or certain carve outs get made for important companies. It makes it nearly impossible for all but the biggest nerds to keep track of what the situation is. Because honestly, by the time you finish doing all your research so that you really understand things, it's going to have changed three more times. But one of the weird calls I've been seeing is for the Canadian government to slap on counter tariffs, which we've done before, and I imagine some of those are still in play. But the thing is, any negotiations with Trump, they're going to be kind of like a TikTok feud where the other person is just looking for any excuse to make 27 videos talking about how you've doubled down, tripled down, and how they now take that as an excuse to do all kinds of crazy and unhinged stuff. And I think Carney knows that. American imports into Canada have already been significantly impacted by things like the fact that a lot of Canadians, when we go shopping, we're checking the label on the package and looking to see where the thing came from. And if it didn't come from Canada or a same country, we ain't buying it. So in a lot of cases, we don't actually need tariffs because Canadians ourselves have already been looking for other places to get what we can from. So by not putting tariffs in place, Canada avoids causing inflation on things like food prices that would affect our most vulnerable people disproportionately. And given that the RCMP so far has been unwilling to kidnap Galen Weston in the middle of the night, this seems to be the next best option. What the Canadian government has been doing in the meantime, though, is striking more and more trade deals with foreign countries who are more stable, so that the next time that the American government wants to distract from certain politicians' proclivities, the nonsense will affect everyday Canadians less. The fact is, there is no way in hell we were ever going to get a satisfactory trade deal on August 1st. The only way Canada ever gets a moderately fair trade deal with America is once it has been made abundantly clear that they don't have the leverage they think they do.